Hello, everybody. I'm Victoria Simmons with the Georgia Post. This is this week's edition of the Georgia Post Review. My co-host today is Christy Watkins. Our guest for today is Hannah Babcock, who is a junior at Crawford County High School, and we're going to discuss school violence, gun control, and from a student's perspective today. Thank you for joining us, Hannah.
Thank you for having me.
So, give your thoughts on the school violence and what do students actually think?
Well, our county has had many threats over the past couple months, and it's been kind of a scary situation. Most people, they would stay home from school, and it's just all in all a really scary and horrible thing that school is supposed to be a safe place, and it's turning into not being a safe place anymore.
What do you think would change that?
I think we should have stricter gun laws, and there should be more of like protection at the school, maybe more SROs at all the schools, and I don't know, just more like safety and yeah.
Do you think that, I know in the recent events that they had, do you think that the students would cell phones made it worse because the parents went crazy, kind of?
It kind of it let people know what was going on, but some people, they would like blow it out of proportion, like that happens in everything that goes on in the world. And cell phones just make it quicker to get that information. And
so there's kind of like pros and cons
to
having that cell phone.
Okay, well, but to you, okay, from a student's perspective, what is more important, that the students notify their parents on that cell phone, or that the school puts safety first before they notify the parents?
I think it's more important that the student does it so the parents know from firsthand that their child is okay. And yeah, I don't know, that's just my point of view on it.
Well, I mean, you know, that's fine. We're just
yeah.
Going back to get it from your point
yeah,
of
that's
view.
right, from your point of view. But what if, okay, if say the school superintendent took an extra 5-10 minutes to notify parents, in 5 to 10 minutes, somebody else could be dead.
Yeah. I don't. It just depends on how quickly they react to it and how quickly they can put out the information to all of the students. I don't know how it works, putting out mass information like that to all the parents, but I don't know. I know my mom, she would like to know firsthand from me that I'm okay, and yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I'm not a student, but, you know, I would think if I was at the school, or if it was one of my children, I do have grandchildren at the school, that I would actually want them to make sure my kid was safe, but then, yes, I would want to know that they were safe. But
yeah.
I would want them to take proper precautions. Now, you said stricter gun laws, but that doesn't mean gun control, right?
Yes, I think so. I don't know. We have a gun in our house, and I know firsthand that it was really easy to get a gun law, and I don't know how like it worked with him. I didn't really ask him because I don't like guns, but most people do. Most people have them for sport or protection, but I believe it should be harder to get a gun than what it was or is. I should say.
What guarantees our right to bear arms?
I guess the Second Amendment.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, because some students that are saying that don't know that.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you're aware that the Second Amendment, so are you saying that the Constitution needs to be changed, or just that we need tighter gun laws?
Well, I don't think we can change the Constitution. It was made all the way back in when the United States was just starting out, but I do believe that the president, or like on the state level, they could like have like put stricter laws and control on getting guns.
So
I don't believe that it would actually take away your right to it, just make it harder to, I guess. I don't know.
well, I mean, as far as the gun laws, I mean, are you okay with the age limit going up?
Yeah.
And, but kind of the other point is about the parents and their, with them having the guns, you know, what should they do for their children, to keep their children from just being able to access that gun? Because I know that there has been incidents where, you know, in these school shootings, that they go and they get their parents' guns. So, what do you think that the parents should do?
Well, most parents will, I shouldn't say most, some parents, they have like gun cabinets that have like locks on them, and that's a good safe way, but eventually the kids do learn the codes to get in them. So I really don't know what the parents on their level could do.
More training,
Yeah.
more, you know, to have more obedience
Mhm.
and to learn what guns are for.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, education on what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's good. Let them know what's going on and that it's there and it's only used for safety
Right.
or sport in some instances. Because
Yeah.
I know that's really big around the area that we're in.
Well, I've noticed that most of the children that are trained, you know, to be around a gun and to respect,
Yeah,
the
that's
gun.
thing, the respect.
you know, that you won't see that out of those children. So, I mean, if they respect it, then they know basically, you know, not to just use it because,
Yeah.
you know, that because. But as far as the school, I know Superintendent Brent Lowe had talked about trying to get a way to make it to where the parents or whoever walks through the front door to actually have that cordoned off to where they have to go through a locked door to be able to get in to access the school. Do you think that would help? You know, because he was talking about like at your school, at the high school, it's a little bit hard because the media center's right off to the right before going to the office. But, I mean, would you think that would be an added security? Would you feel safer if there was a barrier to where people just couldn't walk through the door and, you know, go throughout the school?
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea to have that extra barrier to make it easy. Because right now, most of the doors to get into our school, they're all unlocked and anyone can walk in. And yes, there's people sitting there, but most people don't question it, I think.
One of the things that have come up, that some people say, and I don't know whether it's the right answer or not, or how I feel about it, but what about arming the teachers? How do you feel about that? Is that a good thing, or?
I am gonna say no on that because, yes, teachers are adults and they know better, but everyone, well, I guess I would say certain teachers, not all teachers, but certain teachers that have the right credibility and that have been around it for a really long time and know what it's used for and know how to properly use it and get all the proper training and everything. I don't see that it would hurt, but I don't also see how it would help. Because it would be hard to, like, go for a teacher, at least, to go into a school, like, being prepared to, like, shoot someone and also, like, have to teach all these people. I feel like it would be really hard, but I'm not a teacher, so I don't know how they would feel about it.
What about drills, the drills for scenarios that would include, you know, an active shooter?
I think that those would help. I think it would be a good idea because I know at our school, I've talked with some friends and we were like, if this actually did happen, we wouldn't know what to do. We would just freak out pretty much and just not know what to do. So I feel like it would help a lot.
You know, and what about parents talking to their kids about what they need to do as well?
That would help, but also the parents wouldn't be at the school,
Right.
and so they wouldn't. It would help, but it wouldn't at the same time because the parent doesn't know how like the child would react to it. But I also don't see how it would hurt either to like talk about it.
Yeah.
And
In the recent incident that happened where the one high school kid was arrested or whatever, do you think that the school did enough to make y'all feel safe in that instance afterwards?
They did. They responded really quickly, and it was, yeah, it did. It worked out for everyone, and it was really good.
Very good. What about my mind just went blank.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Yeah.
Stop.
What? I was just doing this because I can't hear you hardly. You're
Oh.
talking really softly.
Okay.
So if you can remember to keep the volume up.
Who was
3.
that came in?
Charles.
Huh?
He's going to come back later.
3. All right. What else do we need while we're in the thing here? What else do we need to ask? 'Cause
What about fellow students, just jumping on the bandwagon and threatening their own schools? What are
social
the...
media.
Yeah, social media. Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1. One of the things that blows all this out of proportion and sometimes makes it worse is social media. What do you think about the students who get on there and threaten the school, and what should we do or not do about social media?
It's such a wide, spread thing, so I don't really think there's anything you can do to, control social media and what people put on social media, but it is good that if you see that, or if a student sees it, that they do tell their authorities so they can respond to it correctly, because most people are like, oh, they're just kidding, and they don't say anything, but then when something actually happens, they're like, oh, well, they were been posting for months that they were going to do something, and we just thought that they were kidding. So I feel like you definitely, if you do see something like that, you should respond correctly and tell authorities or parents or your school or whoever you feel safe telling, and but there's nothing you can really do control the person that puts it out there.
Do you think maybe, I know in other countries they do restrict students on social media. Do you think we should do that here?
I don't know how, from a person who uses social media a lot, I don't really know how you could restrict it, especially since this day and age, everyone has a phone, everyone has social media, and everyone uses it. So, how could you restrict it?
I know other countries, I can't remember which country right off the bat, but I know that they tie it into their grades if you post something derogatory. They can do that with teachers as well. They do that with teachers, as a matter of fact. They have to sign a social media policy that they have to adhere to, and they could do that for students as well. But I was just throwing that out there to see what a student might think about that.
Okay, I've never heard of anything like that, but that would probably help, if the school supervised everyone's social media, but also on the other hand, people could just use alias names,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how most people get away with social media bullying and stuff, is because they do have alias names that no one knows who they are, or they can't pinpoint it to someone because they don't actually say their name.
Have y'all had discussions at school since that recent event?
Not really. After that happened, they were just they're looking out more, the teachers are outside the classrooms more, all the doors are locked, so they are taking more precaution than what they did before.
But do you think it would be beneficial to talk about it a little bit more?
Yeah, I think it would. It would ease the students and the teachers' mind a little bit, I think.
We'll have to pass that information along. What do you think about the current state of affairs with some of the kids. What about the March on Washington for gun control?
I think that's really good that kids this day and age, they do know what's going on in the world and they are speaking up about it from their point of view. Yeah, I think it's really good that they're speaking up and putting their voice out there to be heard. And many adults, like, that I've heard personally, they're just like, oh, they're just kids, but then this shows that they're not just kids, they're speaking up, they know what's going on in the world.
And I think it's great if they do know what's going on, but if you saw some of the interviews with some of those kids, they don't know what's going on. They didn't know what the Second Amendment said, they don't know what the gun laws are, and I think it's important that if you're going to protest or something, you need to know all that up front.
Educate yourself.
Otherwise, why are you protesting if you don't know that? So, I mean, how do you feel about that? You think they should actually know all that?
Yeah, I do. They should know what they're protesting for and know what the actual gun laws are before you say that you want to change them. And I think that they should educate themselves. But it is good to protest just to put like that back, like to back that up that you are like for it and that you do believe in change and reform for the country.
What about the recent crazy stuff that kids are doing, like eating Tide Pods and snorting
Well, I personally have never seen it or watched it, but I have heard a lot about it, and I didn't know, like, I've talked to my brother about it, and I didn't know, like, how widespread it actually was, because when I see stuff like that, because I just ignore it. I'm like, oh, people doing stupid stuff. People do stupid stuff all the time. And I just ignore it, really. And I was like, oh, no one's ever actually, like, died from doing it. Or no one's actually, like, really done it. They just say that they do it. And then my brother was like, no, a lot of people have actually died from it and did it. So, I don't know.
What's going through their mind?
I don't know. They just want the views and attention, I think.
Why? Because it's on social media and trying to get that social media attention and getting plenty of followers or whatever on their videos.
They want that attention, but
hey, we were doing good just to go outside and ride our bike or play in the dirt, you know, make mud pies.
I was going to say,
now they're
eat mud,
I mean, you know, I have kids in my class that ate glue, but they've never done anything like this.
That,
How times have changed.
Yeah, I think we sniffed glue. Or, no, I didn't, but I think some of them sniffed glue. You know?
Well, in kindergarten, these little kids, they were sitting there eating that paste glue, so I guess they thought it was good, but I couldn't do it.
Me neither.
So it's kind of evolved since the glue times now.
I think social media has definitely, like, contributed to that people do want those views and do want that attention and likes and shares and everything that's involved with social media.
Yeah, they kind of make it a challenge, so they're like, the other kids really want to do it.
Yeah.
Well, tell us some good, positive things that are going on with the students or at school. And I know you're part of Leadership Crawford.
I am part of the youth leadership in Crawford County. I really love it, and I know everyone else that's involved in it really loves it. And the art club students are painting roads, getting ready for Jug Fest, yes. And they're going out in the community helping everyone else set up for it. And they actually stayed, came back to school that Friday that we had off to help and make statues to sell, because the students actually do get money for the stuff that they sell at the Jug Fest. And
what all does the students participate in, you know, throughout the school year that y'all help out the community or anything like that?
Well, we all have to do community service hours. We all do it in different ways. I personally work at a daycare to get my community service hours, but I know a lot of people, they help out around like the park, and they help out with 4-H and all the other activities we have in the community to help out.
Well, that's good.
And graduation's going to be coming up soon, and
7 weeks.
yep, and so you'll be a senior after that.
I will. I'm excited for this graduation to be over so it can be mine.
And you're actually going to be duly enrolled, right?
I am currently, and I'm still going to be next year. Yes, ma'am.
That's a positive thing that has happened in our school system, so you can...
Yes, I think it's a really good opportunity to get college credit and be in high school at the same time.
So when you graduate next year, how many college credits will you have?
Probably about 15.
That's good.
Depends on how many classes I'm going to take, because I'm planning on taking some during the summer and next year. And right now the class I'm in has 3, so I'm guessing that they're all about 3, so about 15, 18 college credits.
So what about anything else about the school atmosphere that you think is really good? Or
We're all really like a tight-knit group. Like we're always there to support each other at like games, and like if someone ever needs help, they just ask someone, and we're always like there to help. And we always hang out of school. We're all getting ready for prom. Prom committee is getting all their stuff ready. We picked out everything. So
When is prom?
April 21st.
Wow,
what?
April 21st.
Next
wow.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Next Saturday.
oh wow! So you have your dress?
I do.
All right. That's always exciting, huh?
It is. I'm really excited. We're gonna go. Me and a group of friends are gonna go bowling and eat afterwards, so that's gonna be fun.
And where do they hold the prom?
At Fort Valley State, we're having it.
In Pettigrew Center?
Mhm.
Okay, well that's neat. Well, our guest today has been Hannah Babcock, who is a junior at Crawford County High School, and she's part of Leadership Crawford as well. And in addition, she's also interns here with us at the Georgia Post.
Our sweet little Hannah.
Yeah, a few days a week. So, Hannah, we thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we appreciate Hannah being here today and talk about it. And concerning the school system, they have an East Block coming up to vote, which is a continuation on May 22nd. And Brent was on our show a few weeks ago to discuss that, and you can still find it out there on YouTube. I believe it was March 12th. So if you want some more information on East Boston to find out what it's going to be used for, it does benefit our school system greatly, but look for that YouTube on March 12th. Also on May 22nd coming up is a vote on T-SPLOST, which is a transportation tax, and I know Peach County as well as Crawford will be voting on that, and all the commissioners in both counties seem to think it's a really great thing. And we hope to have either one of the commissioners from Crawford County or somebody from the regional commission, or maybe even somebody from DOT in the future to discuss that with us, so we'll know a little bit more about that. What other things are going on in the community, Christy?
Well, the city just passed 2 resolutions. One is actually on the increase of the water deposit with the city of Roberta. You can find that information. They will have that in the paper this week, a copy of the resolution, along with the resolution for the ordinance for the personal use vehicles, which are the golf carts that are actually legalized and things like that. And it will actually give you all of the rules and laws what comes with this ordinance. So that is something else that you can check out as well in the Georgia Post this week.
And, Jug Fest is coming up in May, and we'll have more about that as well later. And be sure and subscribe, to the Georgia Post so you can get all the details. We cover some of the more important things here on our cable TV show, but you can't get the whole picture unless you subscribe to the Georgia Post. And it's very economical, I think. It might cost $1 on the newsstands if you buy it every week, but if you subscribe, it's cheaper. So we hope that you will become a subscriber and keep up with your community. Recent events have been like Dollar General had a grand opening. If you go through town, you can see where the art students painted the street for the upcoming Jug Fest. There's always something good happening in Crawford County. Let's see. The chamber meets once a month, and they always have activities going on, and you can catch a game at Crawford County Recreation Department most any night.
Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays.
Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. What time do games usually start?
I know ours start at 6, so I'm pretty sure they're
6
all
is probably
starting at 6.
Yeah, 6.
You have time for the parents to get there, but yeah, sometimes I'm a little late because I'm working here. But yeah, it's fun. You know, if you've never been out to the rec department, I will have to say this is one of the best recreational departments and fields in Central Georgia. I've never seen one as nice as what Crawford County has. I actually bring my daughter here to play. So it's great. They've got great coaches. So, you know, just go out, check it out, check out the games. You know, and of course they have the football and they have the basketball, soccer programs. If you have children, get them involved because this is a great department to actually be in.
I think Doug Kelly, who's the recreation director, he was also on the show a few weeks ago. I think he said they had 20 teams. Is that right?
Right at 20 teams. So, and you know, there's multiples, and the cutest ones are the peewees. I'm sorry, but those little ones, they're just as cute as they can be. You know, and they have, you know, some of them have direction on which way first base is, but you know, it's all in fun, and you know, none of us get angry out there. It's just, you know, it's just basically letting them go out and have fun. If they win, they win. If they don't, they don't. You know, there are some serious parents out there, but you know, myself, I have learned to just sit back and let them do their thing because otherwise they will never learn. So, but yeah, it's, you know, you've got school board members as coaches out there. You've got teachers coaching out there. You know, you've just got parents that's never coached before, or you know, and then you've got like ours. She played college softball, so you know, my daughter actually has somebody that you know has played the college softball that you know is teaching them, and they all have the greatest attitudes out there. There's never nothing. You know, it's just a happy time.
So go out and catch a game and you know, support your community. It's very important that you be invested in the community where you live, play, and work. We appreciate our community. We appreciate everybody who volunteers and does things in the community. And we certainly appreciate all the people who support us as well. We want to thank you this week for joining us for this edition of the Georgia Post Review. As I said, catch us in the newspaper this week, and we will talk to you next week. Thank you and have a great day.